Riley and the Los Angeles Lakers opened the Western Conference Final in magnificent style. Guard Byron Scott erupted for 27 points against the Denver Nuggets. Magic Johnson was again the ringleader, 10 points and 16 assists. And Coach Doug Moe tried not to look at all the carnage. And the Lakers, meanwhile, were dreaming sweep. But Moe and the Nuggets had other plans for the Lakers' hoped-for sweep. Alex English poured in 40 points in Game 2. And an aging Dan Issel, in his last season, came off the bench for a rare start and scored 22. For Pat Riley, it was back to the film room. And for Doug Moe, it was back to Denver with a split. Tonight we're a mile high in Denver, Colorado for Game 3 of this Western Conference Championship. It's the Lakers and the Nuggets in McNichols Arena, all even at a victory apiece. And what a swing we've had so far in the Western Conference Final. The Lakers winning number 1 by 17, and the Nuggets come roaring back and win 2 by 22. Good evening, everybody. I'm Brent Musburger, and welcome. You can hear the boos behind me as the Los Angeles Lakers are being introduced. We think we've got a dandy for you tonight. Pleasure for me to be working alongside the coach of the New York Knicks, Hubie Brown. Hubie, first of all, congratulations on winning Patrick Ewing in the lottery. But tell me the truth, wouldn't you really rather have won the New York State lottery?
Not bad, not bad. It would be a toss-up, a real toss-up.
You were going to the right church last week.
Absolutely. Rather be lucky than good.
Hubie, now tell me how this series has turned around. Why have the Nuggets been able to come back?
Well, in Game 2, the early foul trouble to Byron Scott and James Worthy forced Pat Riley to go to his bench, and they definitely were caught up in some bad mismatches defensively. The second reason, in Game 1, Denver was shooting 7 to 9 seconds, taking bad shot opportunities. But in Game 2, they were going 16, 18 seconds on the shot clock and getting many shots inside of the painted area.
The thunderous boo behind you was when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was being introduced. He was involved in the incident. He was kicked out of the game, and I asked him what happened.
Well, Brent, you have the film. You know, you can look at the film. I don't have anything to say about it.
The videotape shows that it was a very frustrating night for Kareem. He was 4 for 16 from the field. He and Danny Shays exchanged elbows several times underneath the baskets. Then this incident triggered the furor. Watch Magic Johnson. He will be circled, number 32. He receives an elbow from Shays, who is attempting to clear the Lakers out during a rebounding attempt. The two teams go to the other side of the floor. Magic Johnson on the left-hand side comes up behind Shays and says something to him. Danny attempts to push him away. That's when Kareem comes up behind Shays, applies the chokehold, and wrestles him to the floor. And I asked Danny what Kareem said.
Well, he was, I guess was trying to intimidate me. He cursed at me a little bit and said, he was going to try and gouge my eyes out, which really took me by surprise. Of course, there's always been a double standard, and I expect there always will be. And there's nothing I can do about it, and there's nothing I want to say about it.
And there he is, and Hubie, he went out to the officials a short time ago and asked them how they were going to allow elbows, how much contact behind him, and they said if it impedes your play, we'll call a foul, and he said, I'll go along with that. Now tell me, is there a double standard? Are players allowed to push and shove Kareem all over the floor?
Look, that's a tribute to Kareem's greatness. All the great scorers in the history of professional basketball get worked over from a physical standpoint, night in and night off, and most of it happens off the ball. Now, they all expect that. That's something. That's a tribute to why he's such a great player. He's lasted all of these years. He's done it night in and night out. An unbelievable thoroughbred.
The Denver Nuggets have just been introduced to the sellout crowd here in McNichols Arena. Here are the starting lineups for Pat Riley and the Lakers. Rambis starts up front alongside Worthy, and of course Kareem is the center. Then in the backcourt, it's their leading scorer, Scott, and Johnson the forward. For Doug Moe in Denver, he's made a couple changes from Game 1. English, of course, is a scoring leader. Natt alongside him, and the veteran Dan Issel is now starting at center, and Elston Turner is at guard, along with T.R. Dunn. And our officials for tonight, John Bannock and Hugh Evans will work, and Hugh Hollins will be the alternate. We just had a bit of a psychological psychological ploy here by the Denver Nugget management. Generally, on Game 3, they will introduce just the starting lineups. But because they wanted an ovation for Danny Shea, they introduced the entire team, and it brought the house down when Shays was introduced to this crowd. Game 3 is underway. The Nuggets control. Natt.
They're going right into Kareem early, Brent. There's the clear out.
Kareem's pass right underneath the Magic.
That was an excellent catch by Magic Johnson. The ball was deflected by T.R. Dunn.
The out with English. The passing game, and English keeps us this time, and his runner misses. The outlet to Scott. And the Nuggets must stop the Lakers' break. Magic gets through. Dunn rebounds.
Backboard foul here by John Danik. Had that one on a slap. What you saw was the old pro, Dan Issel. You would think that would be a mismatch with Magic coming at him off the dribble, but he forced Magic to his left. And let's face it, Magic is a lot better going to his right, not only for the pass, but the shot.
Scott picks up the game's first foul. Issel missing. Rambis out. Up, barking signals to his offense. Worthy puts it on the floor and swings inside.
That time Calvin Natt wanted a hook. I think Worthy got a piece of him, but not enough for an offensive foul.
Natt. Magic. Nuggets get back well on defense here early.
They're going into Kareem now on the low post.
Scott keeps it outside because he couldn't get it in. They had sloughed off because that's the play they wanted. Natt.
Now that was a beautiful baseline feed by T.R. Dunn. Natt came along the baseline, lost his man.
Worthy. Two quick baskets by James Worthy.
Well, Calvin tried to take away the lane. He anticipated. Unfortunately, Worthy is the man of many moves.
Turner.
Say what I don't like early, Brent. Too many long jump shots right now.
Here's an easy basket for Scott. He was open out here at the mid-court line. Nobody picked him up.
Well, a lot like game one, Brent. When they forced Denver into the long jump shots, they're releasing Byron Scott.
Issel, and again it's a shot outside, and the Lakers do not give them a second opportunity. Magic tries to come through. Blocking foul.
He was definitely moving that time. English did not get there. You see, here we have Magic off the dribble. See, Magic loves to go to his right. There he goes. He just splits it right there. English's leg was in, and he tripped over the foot. But I tell you, Brent, I don't like the early shot selection right now by Denver.
Neither does Moe. He just called a timeout.
The NBA on CBS. Tonight's playoff game from Denver, Colorado is sponsored by Light Beer from Miller. Everything you've always wanted in a beer and less. Wheaties, crispy, crunchy, tasty wheat. Wheaties, what the big boys eat. And by GMAC, the financing people from General Motors.
In uniform tonight for the Denver Nuggets for the first time since this series began is their injured guard, Fat Lever. Doug Moe said he still was uncertain about whether or not he would use him, but if he doesn't play tonight, he felt he would get into Game 4 on Sunday afternoon.
They're running Kareem into the low hole now.
Skyhook misses. He was only 4 of 16 in Game 2.
This is the Nuggets right there. That's what they'd like to do. Keep penetrating and getting the shot inside the
2-on-1, and Worthy comes through. And now twice we have seen the Nuggets' inability to get back on defense, and the Lakers have hit 6 in a row. Alex English responds to the Nuggets, and it's 12-6 LA. 8:48 to go here in the opening quarter. Scott. moves the ball quickly to Dunn. English. Kareem's outlet to Scott.
Oh, I thought that he was definitely hit on the hand on the shooting end that time. Every time Alex English or Natt get the ball below the foul line, you'll see them double team.
Natt.
Loose ball foul right there on James Worthy with a push from the rear on Alex English, who on the shot slid inside of Worthy. Worthy was looking to get out on the fast break that time.
Laker guards have outscored the Nuggets 8-0 here in the early going. Dunn and the foul.
3 seconds.
3-second violation.
Well, early now, the Lakers have been able to double team Alex English and Calvin Natt every time. Well, they're clearing out right now, playing two-man basketball. Magic Johnson and Kareem.
Kareem booed whenever he touches the ball here by the partisan crowd. He rolls in the hook shot. The Lakers strike early when they get rolling. Dunn gets back his miss. Johnson comes out with the rebound, and Rambis gives it back to him.
Well, they have a mismatch here, 3-on-2.
Worthy makes a quick move inside.
Calvin Natt grabbed Worthy as he was on his way up that time, trying to, number one, not allow the player to get the ball up over his shoulder. If he does, he has an excellent opportunity of scoring the layup, and the foul would be a three-point play. That was a good, solid foul that time.
Of course, one of the problems bothering Natt is his injured right knee. At night, he is forced to sleep with a pillow wrapped around him. The Lakers are extremely aware that he probably will undergo surgery at the end of this season. And Worthy can make that quick cut on him, and Calvin is unable to respond on defense in his normal fashion.
Well, what we're seeing is that Calvin is trying to outguess James early. Unfortunately, though, James is a man of many moods and is coming back with the second move.
English. Worthy was there on him defensively. And the Lakers are getting the ball quickly to half court. Scott coming through. Issel rebounded. Turner pushes it right back for Denver. Oh, great bounce past English.
That was a great play. He never turned his head, but he saw when he first crossed over half court that he had a man in the outside lane. That was a beautiful pass.
Worthy again. One-on-one against Natt. English to help out. They force a turnover, and Dunn comes back for the Nuggets. English is on his right.
Nice 3-on-1 that time. They fill the outside lane beautifully. At the other end of the floor, though, every time that the Lakers are going in low, Denver is running the man at the man's discretion. Doug said it's not a rule. It's up to the defensive man. If he wants to double, he can double.
Kareem draws the foul after the field goal, his second field goal.
Now, Dan knew that he fouled him that time. There was nothing he could do about it due to, number one, the size factor and the strength factor. Once Kareem catches the ball in that low, there's very little that Dan Issel can do.
We should point out that the Lakers were upset about Doug Moe saying he had a better running game. And we asked Moe to explain, and he said, look, the Lakers are a better fast-breaking team, but we're going to keep running at them because eventually they will wear out and we won't.
But Doug believes in that, and how can you say that's wrong when you have led your conference in scoring for 5 straight years?
Rambis passed up the shot that time to go to Worthy. Worthy with 9 points leading the way. Issel on the move through draws the foul.
They're trying to get Issel into the game from the opposite side of the floor or down the middle every time a pass is made to the wing side. They're trying to have Issel come off of a pick and beat Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to the dotted line in the lane. Now, fortunately for him, he's received the pass there now 3 times early in this quarter.
Mike Evans checking into the Denver lineup. And T.R. Dunn leaves. .42 to go.
They're going right in now. Here's the clear out.
Skyhook doesn't get the bounce. Natt rebound. Fury pass to Evans.
That time they set a back kick for Mike Evans away from the ball, and Evans was wide open underneath as both players stayed with the man who set the pick.
Kareem swings into the lane.
Kareem was definitely bothered by Alex English, who double-teamed that time.
Natt comes back, and he is fouled by Johnson.
I thought Magic Johnson got ball, no doubt about it, but he did catch him with the lower part of his body, and that's what Vanek had. Here we have him coming off now.
Better scoring distribution by the Nuggets, too. Natt and English were carrying the entire burden for a while. Now they get a guard, Evans, and that's their first field goal by a guard here in Game 3.
Well, what we're seeing now is that they're definitely opened up the floor. You know, we're not launching all of the long jump shots, and they're living with the extra pass. Oh, that's beautiful.
Worthy missed it and went back up and tapped it in.
See, we'll see if they do that. They did not do that in Game 1 or Game 2 very much. Kareem sets the pick, and then they throw the dummy pass.
Offensive foul on English.
Well, there's not very much of a confrontation with the referee on that call. So even though we had a bad angle on that play, I would say that it had to be a legitimate call. Hugh Evans was right on top of it.
Cooper replaces Issel. Field guard Kareem. Scott hits from the outside. He's been the leading scorer for the Lakers so far in this series. 8 here tonight.
Well, you must make Byron Scott put the ball on the floor. You cannot let him spot up.
Natt score it, and he'll shoot a free throw.
Both referees had that call. They simultaneously blew the whistles. The shot was up, but Michael Cooper was off the ball with his foul.
Cooper, having just checked into the game, picks up his first personal. For the Lakers out there now, along with Cooper, Worthy, Magic Johnson, Abdul-Jabbar, and Byron Scott. Cooper, Evans, English, Hensley checks in for Doug Moe, and Turner, who has become the point guard because of the injury to Pat Lever and the inability of Willie White to withstand the Lakers' pressure. Cooper is leaning, and Kareem bumping and grinding against him, and a foul is called on Cooper.
Well, that time they ran what we call in basketball a turnout. As the ball is advanced up the right side of the floor, you'll see there the Cooper is rubbing off. Now here we have here. Kareem was determined to post up, and Cooper was determined he's not going to let him back him in. That was excellent defensive pressure by Alex. They must force Cooper and Byron Scott to dribble the ball.
Turner, a good defensive player, knocked that ball out of bounds.
Well, the Lakers are famous for every time they throw the ball into the pivot, they always cut, either down the middle or on the baseline side. The defensive player can take the cutter back to where the offensive player is and then double team. If you double team early, then the cutter is open in the lane for the layup. See, there goes the cutter through. Now they sent Magic through.
English came back out on Cooper, who missed the shot, but they were sloughing off the double and triple team Abdul-Jabbar.
Well, what we had there was Cooper tried to block out Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And when he did, you know, he really overdid it. Here we are right now. Now watch the block out on the shot. You see, he's in his back now with his forearm. Watch, here goes the pass out. Now watch when he turn around. See, he has all of it, and there it is right there. Caught him with the elbow. John Vanek right on top of it. Excellent call. You know, it isn't like both of these referees don't know what's happening here tonight. They've been looking at the replay of that last game, you know, as much as the teams have.
Cooper moves it to Evans. And they ship it to Turner at the top of the circle.
Well, the Lakers feel that they're going to make Turner make that shot. But I don't know. He seems to still be hot. At least he's on a roll right now. Continue. Oh, there it is. There we had an elbow. We had a hit right on the face. All right, here we have it right here. Watch the action in the upper left-hand side here now. Worthy is much bigger and stronger than Hanslick. Now the Hanslick, there it is. You had the first elbow by Worthy. The first elbow caught Hanslick right in the face. But unfortunately, you know, you always get the second call. You know, in sports, it's kind of difficult at that time. You know, many times the referee doesn't see the first one because of positioning or that. And that was off the ball.
Evans comes back.
Well, they just blew right by the trap that time. The Lakers were in a delayed half-court trap. It's the first time that we've seen it. And when they passed and they went up in the corner, they had 3 on the ball going for the trap that time. Pat Riley wants a timeout right now.
2 fouls on Kareem, and Riley will huddle the Lakers. They lead it 30-22, 3:32 to go. Well, James Worthy has 13 points, and obviously Doug Moe sent in Bill Hanslick. He's out of Notre Dame. He's a tough defensive player, and he applied a little pressure. And Worthy responds with an elbow that was not seen. Hanslick retaliated, and that was the move that the official detected, and Worthy went to the free throw line. So far here in the opening period, the Lakers are 10 of 16, Denver 7 of 17.
Well, no one said that this is not a contact sport. and we know that the faint of heart are not here. All right? We understand that this is trench warfare at its best. But, you know, we have a big size differential there between Worthy and Hanslick, and also a strength factor once again. Hanslick is going to fight him his best and use as much physicalness on him that he can get away with.
English with 8 points here early for the Nuggets.
In 12 playoff games this year, Alex English has shooting 88% from the line. Just a great money player.
Got that one to roll in for him, too. It's a 6-point Los Angeles lead. Hanslick with Worthy. English over to help out. Worthy misses that time, and Cooper rebounds. Cooper, McAdoo taking him, and McAdoo blocked the shot. They lead Johnson with a pass. Cross to Scott coming through. Foul. And Scott will shoot.
That was a great athletic move by Scott. When he makes his move to the basket, he has that little dipsy-do where he hangs, and he gives you the ball, brings it back, and takes it again to the hole. And he just did a beautiful job that time, forced the foul. At the other end, when the pass went into Cooper, Alex English was wide open, cutting down the middle. Doug Moe was off the bench, and right now was yelling down to Cooper, you know, look for the cutters before you take the shot.
Evans brings it up for Moe. Hanslick. Turner. English. 3-8.
That was good. They're looking at Worthy now.
And he scores.
What's interesting is Worthy has gone to the middle now 4 times, and no one has challenged his shot yet. And they're just letting him shoot over the top of the defensive man.
Turner outside.
They're going to swing Byron Scott around a double screen now. Offensive foul by Michael Cooper. He definitely, instead of staying on that stack and holding the pick, he definitely stepped to get the defensive man right on the baseline, right on the line.
Magic will sit down, and Spriggs checks in. He is not wearing the face mask. There's a 3-point shot.
caught his defensive man totally asleep. He was looking for that shot all the way.
McAdoo. Cooper went flying at him, and Hanslick rebounds, and the Nuggets can pull to within one. Evans three-pointer. Over the top, Lakers ball.
You know, for the people who this might be their first game watching Denver and think, gee whiz, that was a real bad shot. Doug Moe allows Mike Evans the green light. He can take that shot at any time, and then Doug will make the decision whether or not he's going to stay with him. And he knows he's only in there for a short period of time, maybe 7-8 minutes.
Scott. Cooper again came flying out. And this time, Michael Cooper is fouled.
I don't know. From where we're sitting, I really thought that was a foul. I did. I didn't think that the defensive man was anywhere near in front of the man. Sure, he was in front of the player if he was going down the lane, but unfortunately, he was not. He was going parallel to the basket that time. Look for the Lakers now to set up in their half-court trap. This is their best trapping unit. They have Spriggs in the game right now, along with McAdoo and Worthy in the back. All right, here's your trap.
Evans.
What you must like about that was Denver took the trap, rotated the ball, and made 4 passes before the shot. Spread them out.
Spriggs.
Oh,
Hanslick on the cut. McAdoo. Foul call.
great cut that time. Beautiful bounce pass. The player had plenty of time to see the ball as it came off the floor. And then now watch Bob McAdoo come over here now and pick up this man. Here it is right there. That was not his man. Now the referee definitely did not call a foul on the blocking of the shot. That was a clean shot. He said that he got him with the lower part of his body. The Nuggets are an excellent foul shooting team. During the course of the season, shot over 80, and in the playoffs, they're in 12 games, they're shooting 78%. Naturally, we jinx Hanslick, and he'll never bring up that stat again.
Lakers up by 4. McAdoo cuts inside on Cooper and foul call.
You know what's sad about that? Hanslick worked so hard to discourage the pass into James Worthy. Fronted Worthy, did a great job. The man playing the player with the dribble was on his man. Cooper fell completely asleep on the other side of the lane, and McAdoo flashed into the dotted line and got the pass totally uncontested.
And that's 3 fouls on Cooper. That's why Issel has returned.
No press. They're playing a man-to-man.
Block to English. McAdoo in the air.
English wanted a foul that time because he definitely received a blow across the cheek. See, Pat Riley is cognizant of the fact that when Denver goes small, he wants to go small so he can match up defensively in the passing game. Wow, great hands by Hanslick. Here's a 2-on-1.
Evans. Evans gets it back to Alex English.
No basket.
There's a foul.
There's only 1 second on the clock. That was a great pass by Mike Evans, but he was definitely fouled and grabbed. Sometimes coaches would rather you forget about the foul so they get the layup on the other side.
The Lakers staggered the Nuggets the first couple of minutes. but they withstood the blow, and they have bounced right back there in the opening quarter.
Well, in our talks with Doug Moe, he feels that in all of the games they play, invariably they fall behind by 11 to 15 points. And they just shake it off because they feel that they can honestly come back. Here's your long pass. There's the, oh yes, it'll be good.
Well, we come to the end of the first period with the score. Los Angeles 39, Denver 38. And we'll return after this message and a word from your local station. We're back now for the second period here in Denver, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar still has not snapped out of his shooting slump. He has hit only 6 of his last 21 shots, and maybe it's through. Maybe he's been eating too much quiche, and that's affected him. Get some beefsteak. When Kareem's a villain, he's easy to spot, isn't he?
They're bringing McAdoo now off the staggered pick. That was great defense that time by Hanslick.
Spriggs turns with that left hand.
See, any player that takes Calvin Natt into the lane is just shooting up over the top because the young man cannot regroup and push off the leg and challenge the shot.
Issel, Hanslick, Evans, Natt, and Dunn on the floor for Doug Moe against the Lakers. Issel outside with the miss. Hanslick goes up for the rebound, and there is a foul. McAdoo was in behind him, and the foul's against Bob.
I think Dan would like to have that shot back. His body movement was, continuing to the right. He really didn't get a chance to square up. But then again, the shot clock was down.
Cooper, Kareem, Spriggs, Magic, and McAdoo on the floor for the Lakers defensively as we start the second move. Natt missing. Spriggs with the rebound.
Well, I'll tell you, you have 2 baby bulls in there when you have Spriggs playing against Calvin Natt. Both coaches feel that they are 2 of the toughest guys that they have, if not the toughest and strongest.
Kareem and Evans was back to double team, leaving Cooper open outside, and he hits the shot. As soon as Kareem puts it down on the floor, they'll send the guard back to help out on the double team. Issel waits for Evans. Cooper knocked the ball out of bounds.
Well, there was no call that time. That's why the delay here. Everyone was kind of holding their breath. Right now, we have Willie White waiting at the table to come in the game.
Issel missing. Dunn gets the missed shot. 3-point try by Evans. And Dunn giving the Nuggets a 3rd opportunity.
Now, Doug wants motion now. He's calling to the motion.
Natt puts it down. This is a running shot. And the foul's going against Denver.
Dan Issel over the back that time. We have White in the game for Mike Edwards. They're posting up now.
McAdoo hits the shot. That crowd reaction in the back was for the fact that Danny Shays got up, and you'll see his first action of the game. Issel trapped.
He definitely picked up his pivot foot that time. Issel right now is debating the call down at this end of the floor.
The play had been stopped, so the whistle had been blown by Bannock at the other end. Danny Shays receiving the ovation. He'll be matched up against Kareem, and the last 2 times they squared off, of course. Kareem picked up a second technical and was ejected. McAdoo puts it down. Passes inside, but Natt was in the passing lane.
Great hands that time by T.R. Dunn.
White cuts through, misses, and Spriggs draws the foul underneath.
Okay, that was great defensive rotation on the block that time. Unfortunately for the youngster, Willie White, he did not take that ball strong enough. He allowed that ball to leave his hand, and he was nowhere near the rim. Anytime that you have a shot blocker in a game like McAdoo or Cooper who are rotating at you, you must either go for the dunk like right there. That one was, airborne pass for the dunk. But if you're coming off the dribble, you should either dunk or go strong.
Timeout here in Denver. We've got 9 minutes and 27 seconds left in the first half. It's 47-38. Lakers lead it. At the Colonial National down in Texas after 2 rounds, Corey Pavin leads Marco Mira by 4 shots. You'll see if Pavin can make that hold up this weekend here on CBS. Tomorrow, of course, will be the 3rd round. We'll have live coverage. And then right after that, you will see Game 3 of the NBA Eastern Conference Championship Series. The Boston Celtics with a 2-game lead on the Philadelphia 76ers.
Here we have a replay of the Magic Johnson lob pass to Cooper on the baseline. Now that he makes that look awfully easy, but you must remember, when Magic Johnson picks the ball up off the dribble, he is 6'9", and he can throw that lob pass over the top of the majority of people who play him at the guard position. So the Lakers are always dangerous running on the baseline for any kind of a lob pass. Now that's the second one that he's made tonight. One to Worthy and now one to Cooper. Right now, Brent, we have a big stat. In the second quarter, L.A. is 4 for 4 from the field, but Denver 0 for 6.
And the Lakers steal it.
Give the Lakers credit. That's once again, they're double teaming Alex English every single chance they get, and he got a piece. Now this is a play for Kareem. Magic will take his man through. Now here comes the double team. Who's fake?
Skyhook. Brings it back to the attack for the Nuggets.
Nuggets need a hoop bad.
Gets inside, not this trip. Magic will run it down. Hits McAdoo.
Okay, that was a sheer hustle on McAdoo's part. He saw that the 3 of the Denver Nuggets rotated back and did a great job picking up the 2-man fast break.
Natt. Denver ends the drive.
Well, I'm happy for Natt that he finally got a bull move going for himself right there.
Cooper on a runner, gets the roll, score it, drew the foul, and he'll come up to the line.
Well, unfortunately for the Denver defensive player, I kind of felt that from our angle right here, that Cooper definitely dropped the shoulder into the man on the release of the shot. The reason why I would bring up that point about Calvin Natt, he's struggling right now, and he just doesn't have the elevation on his power move on the jump shot down inside because of the knee. And then when he does put it on the floor, he still cannot elevate. And we have seen him take maybe 3 shots that have been intimidated by people coming across on a rotation.
Turner. Was expecting Cooper to go on through underneath.
Yeah, but that time Cooper was quick.
Turner. Rebound by Natt. And he's fouled.
But what we had there was you are not getting an easy layup off of an offensive rebound. If you are going to go for that shot, you must pay the price. And that was a strong foul.
There, of course, the injured knees of Calvin Natt, especially his right one. There is loose cartilage apparently floating around in there. He will undergo arthroscopic surgery at the end of this season. Sometimes the knee locks up on him. Moe wanted to take him out earlier in Game 2 in Los Angeles, and he said, "Don't do it, Coach. The knee might tighten up, and you might need me later." He's a warrior. Magic flips the ball over to McAdoo.
3 seconds this time by ball from the outside that time by John Vanek.
Worthy will return for Riley. English spins inside off the dribble. McAdoo.
2-on-1
with the outlet, and here's Cooper right back to Spriggs.
What's happening now is once again that the shots are going up within 3 or 4 passes, and I don't think that's what they want.
No passes that time, but he did hit the field goal.
Yeah, but if we go back now, let's face it, the shooting right now has been very, very poor for this quarter.
Kareem hooks on Shays, doesn't get the roll. Natt rebounds, and the Nuggets looking for a run. They turn it over off Natt. Out to Cooper, lead through to Spriggs. He loses it. Denver.
No advantage coming here.
English gets the bounce.
Magic, who plays off the ball as well as anyone in this league, gambled that time and thought he could steal that pass. Unfortunately for him, though, Alex took the step to the ball and beat him.
And a timeout here in Denver.
Went along, and certainly as we got into the beginning of the winning streak, the real confidence that we had as a team. We walked out on the court and we knew we were going to win. And to win 33 in a row, as I look back, is truly unbelievable. And records are made to be broken. I'm not sure that one's going to be broken.
That he created over and over again. Moses Malone and the Sixers will try to climb back in it. But Hubie, that man right there, Albert Tony, must come alive.
Well, I feel sorry for Tony because he was taking his shot. He felt that, after the game, all the comments, and then he thought that he was taking his shot. Unfortunately, he goes 3 for 17. But that can happen to all of the great shooters. I mean, every guy, when he takes that shot, honestly believes he's going to put it down for you, especially the big three. When you're talking Moses, Dr. J, or Tony, you got your three best guys going for you.
Look who's traveled here to see his property in action tonight. Sherry Buss, seated directly behind. I don't know why he's counting the house. This is a Denver home. And here in Denver, they're saying, we want Boston. If I was a basketball fan and paid good money for a seat, I'd hate the Wave. Magic Johnson to the attack. He's out there with Cooper. Rambis is back. Shea's dueling away with Abdul-Jabbar. Worthy is returned. Cooper with the shot. Lakers build a 58-48 10-point lead with 6 minutes and 15 seconds to go here in the first half. Natt puts it on the floor and drives through. Score it. Continuation. He'll come to the free throw line. Chance for a three-pointer for the big fella.
I tell you, Rambis is really disgusted with himself because it was a foul. Well, watch the timid foul here right now. See, he grabbed him right outside, okay? And any time that you get beat off the dribble that badly, you know that you should have nailed the person outside so that he could not get the shot off and cause a three-point situation.
17 points by Natt here in the first half. Kareem swinging inside, fouled by Shays. And that time, Danny Shays did a very wise thing. He committed the foul, and he didn't want Kareem coming on through. Watch what he does right here to make sure this is not a three-pointer.
See, that's our theory of not allowing the offensive player to get the ball up above his shoulders. If he gets it up above his shoulders, they're so strong at this level that they take you right to the basket. They're going to score the shot and then the foul.
So the former Syracuse star playing for Doug Moe and not backing away against Pat Riley's Abdul-Jabbar.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, that was a quick move by Kareem. See, up until now, Kareem has not shown that move. And according to Pat Riley, they've been practicing that he would catch the pass and make a very, very quick move to the basket. It's the first time we've seen it.
Evans comes around, shoots off the dribble. Worthy rebounds. And right away, he looked to midcourt to see if he had a breaker to ignite that withering fast break that the Lakers can hit you with.
Looking for a possible lob. Cooper left the area. Now, they were looking to lob the ball to Cooper with Mike Evans.
Back to Rambis from Kareem.
Oh, my.
Natt yanks it away, and here's Evans. Nuggets are down by 9.
Great
turnover.
steal.
Magic's got Kareem open. Natt will come back, and he'll let Kareem have it.
What a sensational steal that time. Once again, we say Magic is great off the ball. Plays the passing lane as well as anybody in basketball, if not the best. I think that he and Bird are two of the best.
Natt short. Magic outlet. Natt with a hand on it, forces the turnover. Evans comes inside, goes to English.
Watch the long pass, 2-on-1.
It's off to Worthy coming through.
Yes, indeed.
The Lakers are one of the few teams in basketball that can ignite a fast break off the other team's scoring. You don't see that very often. Well, come at you so quickly after you make a basket.
Well, they're looking for that first pass, Brent, either off a miss or a make to go as far out as half court. Now, that time, Denver had 4 guys back, but no one picked up Worthy on the far side of the floor. They had 4 people back at the top of the circle, but James kept running, and Rambis saw him as he turned and looked at the basket. Peripheral vision, look opposite 2-on-1. Now, you know, when you're a coach, you're saying, hey, look, we got 4 guys back. How can you not pick up the 2 guys running the lanes?
Worthy with 18 points here in the first half already. Hanslick moves it to Issel. English gets inside Worthy with a great move, misses. English falls to the floor heavily. Gets up slowly now.
Uh-oh, might be an ankle here. I don't know. He's trying to run it out. Yeah, it's gingerly now. Watch the pick and roll here. He called the pick and roll.
Worthy rejected. Clean block.
Alex English here. Not only did he call the pick and roll, but when the pass went down inside, rotated down beautifully and made really a great athletic block. But you can see that he has some pain here.
Sky hook by Kareem is way short, and Rambis underneath, but hold on. The shot clock had expired. You score it, says Vanek, and now the crowd erupts. Vanek says it was good. English gets inside. English is a little short. Bad pass. Hanslick. He's missing.
Oh, 3-on-1.
Worthy.
You know, quietly now, they have just upped this to a 16-point lead.
Denver calls a timeout, and the Nuggets are not shooting well. Moe is unhappy. Let's check in with Pat O'Brien in New York and find out what we've got at halftime. Pat?
All right, Brent, thank you. Coming up at the half, we've got John McLeod of the Phoenix Suns to talk about just about everything, including the lottery. And out in Golden State, they're still stinging from coming up 7th. We'll hear from Al Adels. The Warriors have a bigger interest now in Joe Barry Carroll. We'll tell you where he has been. And Bobby Ewing might be dead, but Patrick Ewing is alive and well in New York City. And overnight, there are a lot more Knick fans. All that more coming up at the half. Let's go back out and up to the Mile High City. Brent?
All right, Pat. Alex English right now for Denver is 7 of 13 with 17 points. But the Lakers here in the second quarter have simply erupted. They are 13 of 16 from the floor. The Nuggets only 6 of 20. The Lakers have 69 points now, and we've got 3:35 to go. Issel with a second chance. Scores, draws the foul. Has a word for Rambis.
You see, Brent, if the defensive center is going to rotate over, like we just saw, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar tried to double team that low post-up move by Alex English, then the man that he is playing must get to the offensive glass. And that time, Issel made a big move, came down in, and then he's going to have size on whoever else rotates in. We have Kareem on a post-up now.
Issel with Kareem. Goes to the hook. Missing. Hanslick with rebounding position on Rambis, and the foul is called. And for Hanslick now, that's his 3rd foul.
Look, Hanslick has his hands full. This young man is really working hard. James Worthy is on fire and has been for this entire half. And this young man has given him size, he's given him strength, and also the fact that Worthy's out on the break. So Hanslick, you know, he's been working extremely hard all night long. When a shot goes up, he has to work diligently to keep Worthy off the offensive board.
Natt is return for Moe. Worthy has scored 20 points. Rambis with 3. English rebounding. 3:10 to go here in the first half. White, Natt, Issel, Turner, and English. Kareem got a hand on Issel's pass.
He sure did.
Scott comes right back inside and then loses it. And on the traveling call, it'll go back to the Nuggets.
Dan Issel on that time, he saw the cutter and was trying to get the cutter the ball.
It's on Rambis, his 3rd personal. Magic Johnson returns. Natt at the line. Points for Natt. He's also pulled down 6 rebounds.
There's a baseline screen for Worthy.
Claus double team. Cooper comes down the middle to the left hand. Pretty driving layup by Michael Cooper. Willie White. Natt on a clear. Takes a jump shot outside, was short. Kareem turns the other way. Has been skyhooking tonight.
I think the interesting point is every time Kareem has turned baseline, he's made the shot.
Turner hits from a deeper spot on the baseline. Johnson right back for Los Angeles. Hits Worthy. And the foul.
Well, that time when Magic Johnson made his move to the right side, White had excellent defensive position. He guessed, he beat him to the spot, but unfortunately he grabbed his hands on the pass.
Magic has scored only 2 points here in the first half, but he has 6 rebounds and 5 assists.
At the other end of the floor, we have Magic on Calvin Natt. On the last trip down, Magic is telling that you got to beat me on the jump shot. You are not taking me off the dribble.
White gets on the scoreboard for the first time.
Well, listen, Willie White was a great scorer at Tennessee Chattanooga, and the staff here in Denver feels that you leave him open, the young man can really put it down.
Sky hook. Natt.
Oh, Issel's open. There it is.
Oh, lost it off his foot. Goes over to the Lakers.
Byron Scott had a lot to do with that, Brent. He got the hand in there. You know, Dan's having a tough half. Just things can't get going from an offensive standpoint.
McAdoo returns, along with Evans for Denver. Inside of a minute 15.
Posting up Worthy again now.
Scott. English waiting to pass off on the cutter, and there was a foul.
That was an excellent cut by Calvin Natt. He did not have a screen. All he did was beat Magic off of a curl move over the top of the circle down the lane. Magic grabbed them right as he got between the top of the circle and the foul line. You know, it's an interesting point here. You know, in the set half-court offense, if you really give it some thought, Byron Scott has not taken anyone to the basket off the dribble. And yet, any time that he catches the ball, his defensive man is laying off of him and giving him the jump shot. And I think that they must force him to put it down. He must put it down and show that he can beat you. You can't give him the outside shot because he's playing with such great confidence.
And hit by Issel, forces the steal. Here's Turner. Evans, three-pointer, misses. Rebound by English. They go to Evans.
We have 21 seconds for the quarter, 12 seconds on the shot clock.
Hit by Denver. Scott was set to take the three-pointer.
6 seconds on the shot clock, 12 for the quarter.
Inside to Magic, who was fouled by Turner.
That was absolutely beautiful, Brent. That was a designed lob pass to Magic Johnson, and he caught his defensive man. Watch the defensive man get caught. You see that? The defensive man had his back to the pass.
Last shot time for the Nuggets.
Watch Issel out here now. There he is. Oh, that was also by design. He ran him off that pick and roll. We have 2 seconds here now.
Oh, shit, Billy!
Scott would have counted. Nice move down here by Byron Scott. So we're going to Pat O'Brien in New York, but we continue in a moment.
Lots of points out in Denver. Los Angeles leads 79-68. And hi again, everybody. Good morning. I'm Pat O'Brien, and once again, welcome to At the Half. John McLeod has joined us, and a different Laker team has shown up for this game than the one that did in Game 2. They seem to be dictating this game, John.
Pat, they are. They're placing great pressure on the ball, and as a result of that defensive pressure, they've had numerous layups, and when they aren't running, Pat, they are taking their time and taking the ball inside, which is really dictating the tempo.
Isn't it fun to coach from in here? You know, the first ever NBA draft lottery is 5 days old now, Coach, and it's still making news. Of course, here in New York City, they've handed over the key to the city to Patrick Ewing. Suddenly, there are a lot of Knicks fans running around, and we'll get to that later. On the other coast, Golden State is smiling publicly, but weeping privately, as they came up short in the lottery.
The 7th pick in the 1985 NBA draft goes to the Golden State Warriors.
And the first team to hate the lottery, because they would have had the 1 or 2 pick in the coin toss.
It is a great public relations gimmick, but what price do you pay? I think the price is too high.
I think they got burnt 7th out of 7 teams. They should have got Patrick Ewing.
10 years ago, the Golden State Warriors were the world champions. Now they are the worst team in the NBA, a position that usually would get them the first or second best college player.
If you finished on the bottom, you would hope that you could, get a chance to get the #1 pick. And unfortunately, it went against us this time. And, I'm sure just based on what I've read and what I've heard that some people are now going to, take a long look and decide whether they think it was equitable and it should continue.
I would be very surprised if it went beyond next year.
With or without the lottery, the Warriors say they'll regroup and start over again.
We just have to take our lumps in this particular situation. I would hate to have it happen again that way.
He's sitting there like this. Coach, if that had been you, what would you have done?
Pat, I would have
disappointed.
If I had the poorest record, the poorest team, and didn't have the option to take the player that I thought was best, I would be upset. However, Pat, I think the lottery is good for the NBA.
Okay, Coach. Not all is not Doomsville for the Warriors. Hey, they still have the rights to their former center, Joe Barry Carroll. But they've had trouble in the past signing him. Now, those negotiations are in full swing again. As for Joe Barry, he won a basketball championship this year, a long ways away from the Bay Area. He was the #1 pick in the 1980 NBA draft and a star for Golden State. He and the Warriors couldn't reach agreement on a contract last year, and Joe Barry was forced to play in Italy.
I did not have a contract, and the Warriors were not moving in that direction. So I felt that I was going to either sit out or come over here, and they made me a very generous offer.
That offer was a good investment for his Italian team C-Mac of Milan. Carroll, the first top player to come over to Italy in the prime of his career, has adjusted well, averaging 30 points a game.
It would probably be in my best interest, or anyone's interest, when they're coming to a new environment, a totally different environment, to accept whatever is there and embrace it as a challenge. And I've tried to do that.
Carroll also taught his teammates about media exposure.
Say hello to America. Say hello. Hello, America.
But the most important lesson for Carroll is to stay in shape and prove to the NBA that he made a wise decision going overseas, even if some prominent NBA talent watchers still don't think so.
I think that if he comes back, San Francisco still has the right to match any offer. He's still their property. I don't know what he accomplished.
We'll get you back to basketball in a moment. After 2 rounds of the Colonial National Invitation in Fort Worth, Corey Pavin is the leader by 4 strokes over the field. Saturday, 3rd round coverage, 2 o'clock Eastern live here on CBS. Then at 3:30 Eastern, NBA playoff basketball continues with Game 3 of the Philadelphia-Boston Eastern Conference Final. The 76ers need to win badly as they are down 2-zip, a result that surprises almost everybody, even the Celtics.
We were in a quandary about how we were going to perform against them in the first ball game here, because we've been watching them very closely in the Milwaukee series in Washington, and they just rolled through them just like a big tank.
But Boston has some power and talent of its own, and now it's the 76ers who have to be concerned.
It's a time for us to respond and see what we're made out of, and I think our team is ready to do that.
You know, we got 5 guys on our team that really can play, and we got a bench that really can play. We're just looking forward to try to win Sunday.
Somebody who must turn his game for Philadelphia is Andrew Toney, who shot a dismal 3 of 17 on Tuesday. The one sure thing come Saturday is that this series is going to get more physical.
It's going to get a lot rougher. We're not going to be so easy down underneath. We're going to scrap and fight for everything we get, and we've always played like that, and Philly's played basically the same way, so nothing's easy when these two teams meet.
Nothing's easy, including predicting this thing. Last week I said there's a lot of Philly talk. Boston has silenced that. Why?
Pat, they've dominated the front line 3-2. They've done a much better job defensively throughout the series, and looking to tomorrow, Pat, I would be very concerned about Philadelphia being a little bit over anxious and perhaps trying too hard.
And Andrew Toney's got to show up at the game,
yes,
right?
He's got to shoot much better.
Okay, back to the lottery now, Coach. It was just 6 days ago when the New York Knickerbockers were the doormat for New York sports fans. Then the lottery, then Patrick Ewing. Here's James Brown.
Intimidating, relentless, and determined to destroy St. John's NCAA championship hopes, Patrick Ewing was never popular in New York until last Sunday.
The horseshoe works. Basketball is back in New York City, my friends.
You never really understood the impact of someone like Pat Ewing would have in a market like this. They were in a rush at the box office, and
you can come down with a $100 deposit per ticket.
The phone's ringing, and it's a great feeling.
This week, the silent, glowering Ewing finally lightened up.
When we come to New York, we come for business, and that's all that my mind is set on.
And overnight, New Yorkers that once loathed him loved him.
All of a sudden, he's a Knick, and they're like, that's okay if he throws elbows, it's okay if he does this, it's okay if he does that, and they hated him when he played against St. John's.
Tonight, if you walked in a restaurant, Chateaubriand for your entire party, Mr. Ewing, can we sit 28, 35 of your fans? Whatever it is, Mr. Ewing, we love you here.
I love fickle fans because as long as you're hot, baby, they're with you. When you're out, get out of town because the posse's looking for you.
Georgetown, his commitment was to beat St. John's. He did it very well. Now his commitment will be to make New York a winner. I prefer that to beating St. John's.
In a way, New Yorkers have always had a special affection for Patrick. After all, they named the Cathedral Patrick more than a half a century before the lottery even took place. Even the stately old New York Times says that might have been a factor.
James Brown's plane got struck by lightning, by the way, last night. The guy we haven't heard from in this piece, though, is Hubie Brown, and we got him right here. He's out with Brent Musburger. Brent and Hubie?
I've been hearing from him. All right, now tell me, how cool were you? You left me that night. I wished you good luck. I gave you the lucky horseshoe. Did you play it calm all day?
I'll tell you, I was so calm and blasé. I was lying on my couch, and I kept saying to myself, look, I'll take anyone from 2 to 7. You know, with 5 guys with medical surgery, we could handle any help, you know, from 2 to 7. But then when they went 7, 6, 5, I'm saying, wow, you know, we're dynamite. You know, we're going to get 1 through 4. Now all of a sudden they go 4-3, and I said, could this be true? On Wednesday in the New York Daily News, Phil Bondi wrote an article. You know, this astrologer, who was a phone astrologer in New York by the name of Joan Jillison, took the birth dates of the 7 coaches, and she predicts Hubie Brown and the New York Knickerbockers are on a definite high.
Your biorhythms are the best, right?
I'm sitting there saying, could this woman actually do this? And then when they picked out, you know, and they said Indiana, I was so cool and blasé, I jumped like 4 feet up in the air off the couch. Right?
So I guess this means you'll be in the conference championship next year, and I got to break in a new analyst?
Oh, no, wait a second. Sure, jump on my back, will you?
Put a little heat on you, kid. All right. Coming up now, it's the second half. It's Denver and Los Angeles on CBS in just a moment.
Old Armor All. First I do the tires. Makes them look like new again. Then I do the bumpers. Makes them look like bumpers again, yeah. Then I do the dash, the door panels. Then I hit the hoses. And when I'm finished with Armor All, this car is the envy of the entire living world.
And then he does his car.
Company car.
The NBA on CBS. Tonight's playoff game from Denver, Colorado is sponsored by Miller Beer. Miller, made the American way since 1855. Atra from Gillette, the essence of shaving. And by Wagner, the right tool for painting.
And the Lakers with a 79-68 lead, and they built it here in the second period of this, the third game of the Western Conference Final. The Lakers blazed away at 73%, and the Nuggets, meanwhile, were held to 44%. James Worthy has led the way, 20 first-half points. He's 8 of 11 shooting. And for the game, they've held the Nuggets to 46. And Hubie, you were saying tremendous difference with the 2 benches, too.
Oh, absolutely. L.A. 24 points to 14. But, you know, we talked about the Nuggets' 46% shooting, Brent. It has led to 22 fast breaks, 16 conversions for L.A.
And look at this, right back with a slam by Abdul-Jabbar.
You know, we're trying to bring out a point to our fans. That's only the second time that he's taken the ball quickly and turned and gone to the hole. The Lakers staff has made a big issue over this over the last couple of days for Kareem to stop catching the ball and finding out where the defensive man is. Just roll quickly to the baseline and take it.
He's already got 17 points here tonight. Now he hooks on Issel, make it 19 points. And he has responded with a vengeance after being kicked out of the second game. Remember, he was 4 of 16. He built that to 4 of 21. Suddenly he's come back now, and for this game he's 7 of 14. English. Turner moves to Issel. On the bounce they go to Dunn. Inside to Natt. They'll let him have that field goal. Magic wisely did not tighten up too much and pick up another personal foul.
2-man game right here. Byron Scott and Kareem.
Turner back to help out. 3-point shot. Everything works. They double team. They go back to Scott. He hits the 3-pointer. They are as impressive here tonight as they were in the first game Saturday in the Forum. English. Dunn gets it back, and here's Turner. Rattles out. Rambis rebounding. Worthy ships it back to Magic. They invite Magic to take the shot outside, which he does.
That's Magic's 3rd shot of the game. He's 2 for 3, but he has 8 assists.
Worthy coming out for the steal, and the foul is called. It was English. Reached back on him. And And we're going to have a timeout here by Doug Moe. That will leave Denver with only 3 timeouts for the game. The Lakers, meanwhile, have 6. And we'll be right back. The Lakers start out right away where they left off in the second period. 4 of 4. Denver, meanwhile, is 1 of 3, and there is the main man, defensively as well as offensively.
Absolutely. I feel that he has forced Alex English, you know, from a defensive standpoint, to kick up some low percentage shots.
Kareem.
I'd say that was a great one-handed catch by Kareem. Dan Issel Gamble tried to steal the pass, and you know, once he catches the ball like that, it's all over.
Evans with a 3-pointer. Run down by Magic. Here they come again. Magic gets it back from Kareem. The crowd completely out of the game right now. Three seconds on the shot clock. 3-pointer by Johnson. Not there. Issel rebounding. Here's Natt. Natt throws it up inside.
That was a real nice move. He gave Magic Johnson a head fake, froze him, and then beat him off the dribble to the basket.
Scott. English gets it inside to Natt. Kareem throws for Scott, out of bounds.
Every time the shot goes up, Scott is out there. He's past half court, and they're looking for him long on every missed opportunity or steal.
It's a 20-point difference right now. Issel.
See, they have to hit a couple of long ones to open it up because the zip isn't there. They just don't have the quickness of foot.
English. Got it to Issel. Inside to Dan.
Strong move.
And he'll come to the line. Abdul-Jabbar took a blow in the mouth. Watch here as he goes racing after the loose ball.
Alex English caught him with a shoulder. That was an accidental, loose ball contact. Down at the other end of the floor, we have Danny Issel shooting here, but Alex English set that up with a beautiful crossover dribble, and that's two guys who know how to play basketball playing together. Issel was able to go down in, reverse his man, and get an easy play.
Skyhook. The Lakers have not lost a game in Denver since 1982. This would be their 9th straight victory here, which is remarkable in the NBA, where it is so difficult to win one game, let alone get a streak like that going. Issel's drawing another foul.
Doug Moe made a great statement last Friday to us in L.A. when he said that Alex English is his best passer to the cutter, cutting through the middle in traffic. And there was another example of him dropping off a beautiful pass in traffic. It had to be a perfect. Danny has great hands, but it was right on the money, threaded a needle, and you get yourself the opportunity to get fouled. Now, he has come down here now twice in a row, could have forced up a bad shot if he wanted to. They were talking about a selfish player, but he is not. He's an unselfish team player all the way.
Kareem. There was a mismatch, still is. Natt has to take him. They get it inside to Rambis, who was fouled by English.
See that time with Natt on Kareem, when you think about it, you're talking 6'6" versus 7'2". Kareem could take that double team all day long and still find a free man. And even then, it was an accidental catch because Alex English did get his hand on it. The electricity has definitely left this game. We're talking on the floor as well as in the stands. And they need a little surge here, an 8-zip or a 9-zip surge here to get back in this.
Issel. but it's the Lakers who come right back.
Mismatch, 3-on-2. Worthy. See, when they get that pass out to Buck or Magic, Buck to the guys who really know him well, and when they have Worthy and Byron Scott, they're brutal on you.
Nice shot there, Hubie, by Alex English. The Lakers must have really been overconfident in Game 2. They must have really been ripe to be picked off that night in the Forum.
Well, any time that your two stars between them really go, 4 for 16 and 5 for 16 in Magic and Kareem and end up 11 turnovers, it's pretty impossible for any team to win.
Scott. It's 100-78, 6:39 to go in the third
quarter. Big point.
English. Successive hoops by English, but now it's going to be up to that Nugget defense. He has 21 for the game. Natt foul-worthy.
See, Calvin thought that he beat him to the spot again. But you know what I like about James Worthy? All night long, he's been trying to guess, but Worthy has come back and combated it with a great move.
Let's set the lineup for you for the weekend now. Boston and Philadelphia. Celtics leading 2-0. Live tomorrow, 3:30 Eastern Time, Game 3 from Philadelphia. Then on Sunday, Game 4. Now, this will be seen in the East and the Midwestern parts of the country. This is Game 4, live at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Meanwhile, along the Pacific Network and here in the Denver area will be Game 4 of this series, the Lakers and the Nuggets, and that is 3 p.m. Pacific Time or 2 p.m. Mountain Time. I think I'll give everybody a test on that. 20 points right now, 6:19 plus the fourth. You see anything that would indicate a comeback by the Nuggets?
Not right now, but I know Doug is hoping for them to get it down to 10. If they can get it to 10 or 12, they have a good shot.
Lakers seem to be back in sync.
Well, the thing which is impressive tonight is that the people in the low post areas are scoring, an awful lot of points. And we're talking Kareem and Worthy.
Look at that ball bouncing the Lakers' way, too. And now for James Worthy, 24 points. Knocked away by Worthy and the foul called on him. He reached over English. That's his second personal. Loose, picked up by Magic.
That was a tough pass. Mike Evans tried to force that ball in between two Lakers. They're going to Kareem now on the low post.
Tried to get it back.
Good hands. 2-on-1.
Evans, and here it comes. Worthy quickly makes it 2-on-2, and Evans still comes through for the field goal and drew the foul on Scott.
Trouble is when you get down this big, you always have to keep emphasizing you must come back defensively. You've got to come back defensively. And it sounds like such an easy thing, but you're playing against thoroughbreds. You're playing against a team that scores just as quickly as you do. And then when they're shooting at over 60% like they are right now, you must dig in. And at the last possession, we had great defense, the extra hand causing a three-point play. Here's that lob again now.
Into Worthy.
Saw that early. Kareem fakes the pick. They fake coming over the baseline, and they throw a lob to Worthy on the opposite side of the basket.
Cooper outside at the top of the circle. English gets it off Rambis and out of bounds, and the crowd is booing Rambis, but he was actually helping Alex English. If we see that again in a replay, Rambis wrapped him up to make sure that he didn't go slamming into a chair over there on the side. There was no unnecessary force on Rambis' part at all. Scott gets around behind Cooper, who comes down the baseline, missing. Abdul-Jabbar with the rebound.
Cooper was raked across the arm that time, across his left arm.
Scott. Short. Cooper gets it in the hands of Turner. To English. Great block by Worthy out of bounds. What a game James Worthy is having here tonight in Denver, with Spriggs checking back in with Pat Riley along with Michael Cooper. Magic Johnson will sit down, and Rambis is out. So it's Scott, Abdul-Jabbar, Spriggs, Worthy, and Cooper. Evans got loose over there on that side. That's 15 points for Mike Evans.
Fans are trying to bring him back right now.
The fans' lungs are well rested. Scott.
Oh, beautiful.
It's going to get quiet again in a hurry.
Oh, they just picked off Mike Evans. That was a passing game set, and they set a pick on Mike Evans up on the foul line.
Natt. Scott puts it down. 3-on-2. Loses it. Loose ball picked up by Cooper on the miss, and the foul is called. And Turner, who committed the foul, crashed hard to the floor. That's Turner's second. Hensley into the Nuggets lineup.
You know what's sad here, Brent, is Denver is getting the offensive opportunities. Here comes Willie White into the ballgame right now for Mike Evans. You know, they're getting the opportunities, but they're not putting the ball in the basket. Then when the ball is on the floor, they can't come up with the loose ball. Even when the Lakers miss, the Lakers get the offensive rebound. And it's just been, you know, it's total frustration here right now.
Mike McGee into the game for the first time, and Scott will sit.
Well, you know, just so we all understand here how many points the Lakers can score. You know, we have almost 4 minutes left in the third quarter, and they already have 105. You know, we're looking at maybe 150, 160 points here.
Cooper, McGee, Spriggs, Worthy, and Abdul-Jabbar on the floor for Los Angeles defensively. White, Cooper, Turner, White with the shot for Denver. Henslick and English rounding out the Nugget lineup. Worthy. He and Cooper play catch. Spinning move, and Henslick stuck with it. Knocked the ball out of bounds. LA's ball. And we've got a timeout. Pat Riley wants to huddle the Lakers. At the conclusion of the game, Hubie and I will select the light beer most valuable player of the game. In conjunction with the award, Light Beer from Miller will present a check for $1,000 to the National Multiple Sclerosis Foundation in that player's name. And I would have to say that James Worthy and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar right now have a leg up in going for that honor here tonight. Calvin Natt, the leading scorer for the Nuggets with 25, and Worthy with 24 for the Lakers. And he's been awfully impressive defensively, too. For the game, the Lakers have sizzled at 62%. Kareem with 26 points. Denver, meanwhile, has struggled at 45%. And again, a complete turnaround from game 2. White coming through. They rejected it. Went to English. Missed. Cooper off with the rebound. Here's McGee.
The Lakers are challenging everything off the dribble that's going to the basket.
Worthy.
You think the two of them feel that they can score every time?
I think so.
You know, you can just sense it that the both of them are just so sure of themselves tonight.
Kareem
was looking long.
To Spriggs with that long pass. He was thinking about it. They said, "I'll save that for Sunday in game 4."
High pick and roll now from Michael Cooper, either side.
Henslick. Turner. Cooper runs it down. Kareem is back there with him. Hanslick with a slick defensive play. Had a hand on it, ran it back down. Drives to the left hand, and Worthy is there to reject it. But goaltending is called against Worthy.
This is interesting. Pat Riley called a timeout. Now, that was a great individual effort by Worthy to get that ball. And as soon as the goaltending was called, Riley called timeout. Interesting.
We'll be right back after that timeout. 110-88. The Lakers with a big lead on Denver. You know, he'll be at the start of the game. We made light of that sign back there that says, Kareem eats quiche. Now I want some.
Very good and appropriate.
The heat is definitely on, folks. Make no mistake about it.
But I think also that the Lakers' strategy of going to the big fella and getting him in this game early and keeping him in the game, you know, has been a big factor.
Lob to McGee.
That time Mike McGee changed directions beautifully on White. White tried to jump in front of him. Unfortunately, just opened up the lob pass.
Shays, Evans, Hanslick, English, and White going for the Nuggets. There's English. Off McAdoo. I think this statistic can tell you a lot about this game.
But the interesting thing, Brent, is that the majority of it is coming off the fast break also. It's fast break and posting up of Worthy and Kareem.
Hanslick. McGee. Cooper brings it up.
With a minute to go in the quarter, Denver 9 for 25 from the floor.
McAdoo snaps it back to McGee. Hanslick to English. Cooper there defensively. Evans, three-pointer, off. Worthy to Cooper. They bring that shot clock down now. Inside of 10 seconds.
Running a double for McAdoo on the baseline. There it is.
Worthy gets it back. Offensive goal interference.
Goaltending on Mike McGee. That ball was not off the cylinder. See, what they do is they run a stagger pick for McAdoo on that baseline. The first guy gets him inside the paint. The next guy gets him about 3 feet off the lane. And then he fades to the corner. And Denver insists on coming over the top of the screens, so he'll be open every time.
Here comes Cooper, and McGee's ahead of him.
From a coaching standpoint, no reason for that. When the shot goes up from the other side, you should be back as a guard.
Double dribble, turned over. The Lakers will come back again.
We have 4 seconds for the quarter here now.
And that is the end of the third period. With the score, Los Angeles 114, Denver 88. We'll return after these messages from your local station. The Lakers outscored the Nuggets 35-20 in the third quarter, and now they hold a 114-88 lead. Playoff record for the most points in a game, 156 by Milwaukee versus Philadelphia, March 30th, 1970. And now, here's Hubie.
Oh, that's great. Lakers putting a little full court pressure on.
Take it away. I'll see you at the first tee.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Pat Lieber is out here. There's a big development in this game. They're going to give him some playing time. He's come back from that arthroscopic surgery. He injured the knee in the Utah series, so we can take a look at him because they will certainly need him out here in Game 4 on Sunday afternoon. They're going inside the Magic. He gets it back to McAdoo.
Now, Magic was totally surprised by that pass, but, you know, with the great hands, made the great, beautiful tap back out for the free shot. Lieber must get over the mental block that I can't do this or I can't do that. He just has to come out here now and play through it and test the knee, and then hopefully he can make a solid contribution on Sunday.
Danny Shays missing. Magic hits McGee on the pass. And McGee collides with Danny Shays.
Oh, boy.
And a foul is on Lieber.
I tell you, this is going to be a tough one here because it's interesting. Watch Danny Shays move over here right now, and let's see if he plants himself. He's there, okay? I would say, I think we had that one. Definitely an offensive foul. Shays did not move.
Shays gets it off to White. Here's Hanslick. Back to Lieber. He hits Hanslick.
They've got to get some quick scores here. If they're going to make a run, they have to do it here in the first 4 minutes.
Lieber got a hand on the ball and goes down. You can see he's wearing that bandage on his left knee. That's the one that was operated on. Isn't it amazing what athletes are able to do with arthroscopic surgery? Been a tremendous development. A few years ago, they would have put him under the knife, and he wouldn't play it again until next year. Here's White.
See, White really likes to be the off guard, and that's where he's always played, high school and in college. And even here, he's more effective as an off guard. He sets up real well, and he has outstanding range.
McAdoo spins inside. Travel. Must have a late call, but I guess he felt that something should be done.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, McAdoo was helped along that time by Danny Ainge, right on his hip.
Did you say Danny Ainge?
I mean, yeah, I'm sorry.
Listen, I know Ainge is an aggressive, tough player. He reaches all the way out here.
Yeah, it's hard to do 2,000 miles away, right? Danny Shades with a little forearm off the hip.
We'll see Ainge in action tomorrow, of course. Game 3, Boston, Philly.
Listen, Danny Ainge is playing extremely well in that Philadelphia series.
Here's Natt.
Beautiful. What a great pump fake. And for all the young people who might still be up at this hour watching this game, you youngsters who are playing, anytime that you're in there and you're dwarfed by big people. That's right. There was just a great. Watch this head fake now on the catch. First of all, he's shielding the man, called for the ball. Watch the pump fake. There it is. Beautiful. Got the shot blockers up. There you go.
All right, that's a reminder tomorrow, 3:30 Eastern time, and I'm going to put Hubie back on his spot here momentarily. Larry Bird, he's going to try to give the Celtics a 3-0 lead against Moses Malone, and the 76ers scene shifts into the city of brotherly love. And, of course, Andrew Toney, who was 3 of 17, will try to share the slump. Now, you really endeared yourself to the city of Boston when you picked Philadelphia to win this series. Now you're down a couple of games. Are you coming back in Philadelphia, Hubie, or...
No, all I want to say is this. I give Boston's front line now, Brent. Come on. I noticed how you put your schneid on me. but the Boston front line is playing great basketball. Kevin McHale-Parrish and Larry Bird are doing it and doing it big. Not only scoring the points, getting a shot, blocking, and a rebound. Now, they have taken the Philadelphia front line out of this game, and they have definitely won the war at big forward. Let's give them credit. They deserve an awful lot of credit. Now, you notice how I'm trying to get back in the graces of Larry Bird and all the guys. But I notice how beautifully you put me on the spot. I don't hear you making any picks here.
Maybe even Ray Williams will say something nice about you.
Ah, there you go.
McGee bounces it into Spriggs, gets it back. Spriggs, short. White rebound. 9:20 to go. White. Back to the Lakers. I think Doug tells you right there what he thought about that shot.
Well, let's face it, the young man definitely did not have his feet underneath him. His weight was shifting backwards. Well, they're going to try to go one-on-one here. McAdoo off the dribble.
Magic with the rebound. And it goes over to the Nuggets.
Here's Kareem. The booing is not nearly as loud as when this game began, and we can't say enough about the performance turned in by Abdul-Jabbar.
Absolutely. Listen, Kareem came in here. There was big pressure on Kareem to do it, and he has done it.
White gives it up. And that time he probably had his shot.
You know what happened that time? A player cutting to the basket who was not open yelled for the ball. And it distracted him. And you know what? He was open, and he said, hey, I better look down inside. He's a rookie, you know what I'm saying? And he just got yelled at because he took a bad shot on the play down before that.
Here's McGee. And he loses control and gets it back. And listen, Doug Moe has to be very unhappy about the lack of hustle right there. To lose control and not have somebody closing in, chasing him down the court. Not going to make the coach pleased. That defensive effort.
Hey, Brent, both guards stopped at half court because they thought he was going to dunk the ball. And when he missed it, they both tried to get back down the floor.
That's right. Turned it over that time.
A double dribble that time by Mike McGee. But we know what we have to watch out for right now. There's only 8 minutes to go here, and the Lakers do not look like they're not trying to get 150 or 160. All right.
Hanslick. Lever. Cooper.
The natives are restless, Frank. The natives are restless.
I can't blame them.
Yeah, they're frustrated, and they want to foul on every single play. And unfortunately, they are not getting the calls. Now we have a 4-on-3 here.
Hanslick. Nice. Skibby, let me ask you, what effect this has on Denver and its players right now? The city had built this up to be the biggest game since the Broncos went down to the Super Bowl, and they've been ripped pretty good here.
Yeah, but that's okay. You know, it's like we said after game one. It's still only one loss. You know, Doug knows that, you know, what he's trying for right now is to get a split here. If he gets a split here, this is terrific. He'll be 2-2 into a 3-game series.
English and Issel back, and Jimmy, let me just run down the lineups. We've got White, Hanslick, Issel, English, and Pat Lever on the floor against Scott, Worthy, Cooper, Magic, and Kareem.
Well, you know, this is good because for Fat Lever, all right, because Doug is staying with him. And he's working out all the cobwebs in the man's game. And, you know, you could see on that last shot that he attempted at the opposite end of the floor that Magic was chasing at him and tried for the shot block. This is what we saw in game one. The Lakers challenging every single shot that was going up. We did not see that in game two.
Hanslick. Trying to spark a rally. Off Kareem, out of bounds.
The Magic didn't want that shot, but you know what he was thinking? He was thinking that Kareem was going to roll back to the basket. Unfortunately, his hands got caught below his waist.
CBS Sports coverage of the NBA playoffs will continue after this message and a word from your local station. You can tell when Bob Stinner's producing one of our games.
I know, we're emphasizing the fellow with the beard.
Our most eligible bachelor operating that truck. Well, it's 120-101. We've got 6:30 to go, and the crowd desperately wants just any old kind of rally here. English. Double team, fouled by Kareem.
That's only the Lakers' third foul, so they'll take it on the side. But, you know, once again, we see the double and triple team, the total respect that they have for Alex English anytime he's down on that baseline area.
Worthy is doing some job on English. Hanslick gets loose inside. Now it's up to the Nugget defense.
Trying to roll Kareem in low now.
Issel knocked the ball out of bounds.
This is the first time, Brent, since the first quarter that the Nuggets are off to good shooting. They're 7 for 10 for this quarter.
Three-pointer by Michael Cooper.
That's a hard one to swallow right there. That one really was.
Issel. English comes over on Scott, no foul. They invite Magic to shoot. He's short. Lever rebounds. White. Jump pass inside. He should have taken the shot.
Yes,
English recovers it, and it's blocked by Michael Cooper.
That's too bad, because I thought White really had an excellent shot opportunity.
Cooper drives in on Hanslick, and it's an offensive foul.
I thought Hanslick was there all the way. Even though both players were moving, Hanslick was moving in a back position. Let's see here, right? He's moving back with him now, but he's still in front of the man.
Lever got a step on Scott, but he couldn't do anything once he got inside.
Well, the pass was there. He was looking for Dan Issel to roll, but Issel could not roll. Kareem had a piece of Issel at that time. The idea was excellent if Danny could have freed himself up.
Worthy got a first step on English, score it, and he'll come to the free throw line. Hanslick fouled him. That's 28 points for James Worthy.
Well, Hanslick wanted a charge on that one, but, you know, that time Worthy was already elevated. He's up here right now. There he is. He's up in the air.
I got to tell you that I thought Hanslick was more set on that play than he was the previous one, Ruby.
Yeah, but the previous one, see, he was in front of him all the way. Now, it comes back to now whether or not you're going to say, well, the man has to definitely stop and take the charge. But the offensive player still cannot run over the top of you, and he was in front of him all the way.
Hanslick sloughed off the help, so Cooper takes it the other way. They don't go in through Kareem. Now they're back on Kareem's side. Hanslick is there. Kareem was a cutter. In a give and go, they finally get it down to him. English switches over on him. Left hand miss. It's a rebound, and there's a loose ball foul. And for Kareem, that is his fourth personal. Lever. Short. Magic runs it back at him. Lob for Cooper.
That was eye contact all the way. As soon as he crossed over half court, Magic had eye contact with him. And once again, it's that theory that when the Lakers run the baseline, they'll throw the lob every time if Magic is the passer.
Worthy rebounds. 3:54. Time running down here in Game 3, and some of the Denver faithful now are headed for the exits. Lever helping out on Worthy, and Hanslick fouled him. That's 5 personal fouls on Hanslick.
That's only the third foul by the Nuggets, so they'll take it on the side.
McGee returning for Los Angeles. Scott will sit down. Evans coming back for the Nuggets. Issel and Kareem. So many nights, long careers in the NBA, they've dueled away at each other. This is Issel's last year in the NBA. Missed that shot. Magic rebounding. Long pass to McGee. McGee comes down in with the penetration and the basket. And Los Angeles is going to take a 2-1 lead in the Western Conference Final into Game 4 here Sunday afternoon. Both teams will have a day off. English missing everything, and you have to wonder now how the Nuggets will respond. They came back brilliantly in Game 2, but the Lakers did not play well. English comes inside, and Pat Riley wants a timeout.
Well, he's going to bring in Mitch Kupchak right now, along with Ronnie Lester. You know, this way he gets his big people out, give them a rest, nobody get injured.
Will attempt to do this week what Payne Stewart could not do a week ago, and that's hold on to a lead. 4 shots over Mark O'Meara. O'Meara tore up California in the early going on the golf tour, and tomorrow you'll see the 3rd round of the Colonial, and then we'll have live final round coverage on Sunday, along with Games 4, Boston, Philadelphia, and Los Angeles, Denver. Calvin Natt with that injured knee that we spoke about earlier, and now they've wrapping off, and they've applied ice to it. He's been playing in a great deal of pain throughout the playoffs, and he will undergo arthroscopic surgery as soon as the season is over. And Kupchak and Lester are out here. And Spriggs was maneuvering, and Cooper fouled him. Last 2 minutes and 30 seconds in this game. Joe Kopicki, number 35, is out there for the Nuggets. McAdoo returning for Los Angeles.
McAdoo is for Los Angeles Lakers and Michael Cooper.
The Lakers have Spriggs, McAdoo, and Kupchak up front, with Lester and Mike McGee at the guard position.
Evans brings it down now for the Nuggets. Kopicki had it knocked away, and he was fouled.
That was a nice, strong move by Joe. Joe played at the University of Detroit, and I thought did a real nice job when he played with the Washington Bullets for Gene Shue.
He's got the right size for Shue.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, when he was called upon, he made a nice contribution there. Has played in the Continental League when he was released by the Bullets. Did a real fine job with the Detroit team there, and now was picked up by Denver. And it's you know, it's nice to see people not give up on themselves.
Think we'll ever get a close game in the Western Conference Final? 17-22 were the margins of the first two. Here it's 132-108 in Game 3. It's a blowout tournament. Kupchak. Hansling hit him on the break. Kupchak gets back with him and hammers him to the floor. Great to see Kupchak just playing again, though, after the surgery he underwent on that knee.
Well, you know, Pat Riley feels that if he gets in any kind of foul trouble up front in the playoffs, and especially if they get to the next round, in the next round against the East, that he is not afraid to bring in Kupchak. He feels that Kupchak has responded medically. Sure, he's not the same Mitch Kupchak that played with Washington and went out there on a free agency, but you know, he's pretty darn close, and he feels he can make a solid contribution in the low hole front.
2 minutes to play in this quarter.
McGee. Kopicki hits Hanslick. McGee right back there on defense. They go to White. He'll come to the line. Chance for a three-pointer.
You know what happens at this time? You know, you're coaching in a game right now. You're way up. You know you're going to win the game. There's less than 2 minutes to play. And when this group is out on the floor for you, when cutters cut and are wide open, you do not want to see a guy take a 25-foot shot when the cutter is wide open in the lane. And that's what Mitch Kupchak was at that time. That was just sheer brute strength right underneath the basket there. So, you know, you want everyone to play team basketball. And so, you know, like we saw that in Game 1. The Lakers stayed within what they were doing, and also Denver. And it was good. Everybody made use of their playing time.
Kupchak shifts it back to Lester. How about Lester? Has he come back from that operation, Hubie, as McGee has it rejected back to Ronnie Lester, formerly of the Chicago Bulls out of Iowa?
Well, I'd say, when he was at Iowa, he was one of the top point guards in the country. Everyone thought he would go, you know, very, very high and then have an excellent career. Unfortunately for the young man, like so many other great guys with potential in the league, injuries rob you of reaching what might have been.
Kupchak too strong with the rebound over White's back. And Mitch picks up another personal foul here as we wind down inside of a minute now. It's 134-113. And again, I think we should point out that if there's any coach in the league who can come back from a blowout, it happens to be Doug Moe. He's done it once in this series. The only thing that has to bother Doug and the whole Denver organization right now is the fact that the Lakers have beaten them 9 straight times in Denver. Last time they lost was in 1982, and now it becomes a psychological thing for Moe and the Nuggets to overcome.
Well, I think, though, that Doug made a very good point today, though. He said that, that was a foul by Kopicki. That was a strong foul. But you know, Doug said that 3 of the games were decided by the last shot. You know, that they lost. You know, he said, yeah, we got beat. But 3 of them, you know, could have gone either way. And if you really think about that a second, you know, instead of being 0-8, you're 3-5. It doesn't really look that bad.
But the Lakers now in the back of their mind is the fact that if they could win again in here and make it 10 on Sunday, then they go back to the Forum in Los Angeles for Game 5 Wednesday night and have a chance to wrap it up.
No, listen, they'd be sitting great. But I always feel as the home court team, you know, you're gonna pump it up. You're gonna come out here on Sunday and you're gonna give your best shot. The fans are still gonna be with you because they know that you have a number of your best players injured. You have Fat Lever injured. You have Natt injured. You have even Mike Evans playing with a bad knee. So you know your team is going to give it their best shot.
Picking at the field goal. Off of what I've seen, I think Fat Lever can contribute on Sunday afternoon. I thought he moved pretty well.
I thought he moved real well, but the offensive end of the game was not there. You know, we didn't see him take any type of shot off the dribble, and even the few times that he was open on a spot up, we didn't see anything happen.
Just Fat watching his hands like his assist. His 6th personal, and he is fouled out of the game.
But, you know, we go back to Fat Lever and we say, hey, that's okay, though. He played the minutes. That's the important statistic. You know, I know that their staff would have loved to have seen the young man. Now, the young man had to volunteer to play in this game tonight because they were going into the game saying that he would get no playing time.
Well, the Nuggets have proved already that they're a gutty bunch just in coming back in Los Angeles, and now they'll have to attempt to do it all over again here in front of the home crowd. I tell you, the one injury that probably bothered him more than any is Natt's knee injury.
Well, you know, what you're doing is you're taking out your baby bull, and I think that Doug Moe made one of the greatest compliments of all time when he told us that in all of his basketball coaching, and you think about it, was here in Denver, down in San Antonio, back to Denver, Calvin Natt is the toughest player that he has ever coached. Now, that's saying an awful lot because Doug has coached, you know, many great players, Frank.
He also told us, Hubie, that Worthy gave him fits, perhaps more than any player in the league, and again, he did it here tonight with that quick first move, spun around. That's it. The Lakers have wrapped it up. 136-118 is our final score. And the Lakers take a 2-1 lead in the Western Conference Final. The day off. And then the 4th game, Sunday afternoon, here in Denver. So we'll come back for some comments as the Lakers head for their locker room with another blowout of Denver.
Los Angeles Lakers.
And Pat O'Brien in New York. Let's go to Pat.
All right, Brent, the first one is so much for home court advantage in McNichols Arena as the Lakers defeat Denver there 136-118. Now we go to the Western Conference brackets. The Lakers lead this series 2-1 over Denver. That takes some of the steam, John McLeod, out of the Nuggets.
Well, it does, Pat. You know, L.A. thoroughly dominated this ball game, and what Denver has to do now Sunday is they have to do a much better job with their shot selection. I thought they shot the ball very quickly. They have to get back, and they have to do a much better job of stopping L.A.'s inside game.
Any chance of the Lakers falling again? Like they did, you know, the Lakers don't stumble. They fall when they have a bad game. Any chance of that happening?
They could, Pat, but I doubt it. They were razor sharp against us. They were razor sharp against Portland. They had a great game the first game of this series. They had one bad ball game. I don't think they'll have another bad game.
And it's still 2-1, right? So
yes, it is.
Yeah, okay, let's go to the Eastern brackets now.
Win it now, 136-118. They've got a 2-1 edge on Denver in the Western Conference Final. No surprise about who our Miller Lite player of the game is. It goes to James Worthy. 28 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 block shots. And James, why were the Lakers so overpowering again tonight in Game 3?
Well, it was a big game for us tonight. We were disappointed that we lost the second game in L.A., and we were concerned about coming out and setting the tempo. They really ran the ball down our throats in L.A., and we wanted to come out and be the aggressors, and I think we did in the first quarter, and from there our momentum just carried over, and we sustained it throughout the game.
Take a look at this piece of videotape, James, and tell us how this unfolded.
Well, usually when Magic has the ball, you never know what's going to happen, and he usually finds the open court, and Byron Scott makes a great pass. You know, we just fill in the lane, got a fast break going, and I think our defense dictated our transition game, and we were able to get easy layups like that.
Speaking of defense, I thought you played extremely well at the defensive end, but I'm curious, James, how much do you think Calvin Natt's knee injury has slowed him down? You've played him when he's 100% and now. Do you notice a difference?
It's pretty tough to play under injury situation, particularly when you're a great opponent as Calvin Natt is. He's pushing through it pretty well, but I can see him ailing a little bit on the court, and I'm sure his knee is bothering, particularly during the later stages of the game. So it's unfortunate for them, but that's what the playoffs are all about. You have to play through those injuries. Unfortunately, it's just the playoffs time now. You would rather that happen during the regular season.
Abdul-Jabbar apparently had something to prove here tonight.
Well, he's been in the league 16 years, and I knew this crowd wouldn't upset him tonight. He had to snap back from the game in L.A. It was sort of disappointing for him to lose his calm like that, so he came back and concentrated on his game and not let his opponents take him out.
All right, James, thank you very much. So the Lakers now lead 2-1, chance to make it 3-1 Sunday afternoon here in Denver, and then, of course, they'd go back to Los Angeles for Game 5 in the Forum, and that is on Wednesday night. That wraps it up here from McNichols Arena. For Hubie Brown, I'm Brent Musburger saying so long from Denver. The final score again, well,